The collective consciousness of life in water. Everyone wants truth and seek knowledge, no lies. But to the question, what is the truth? The answer, nobody knows the truth. Everyone has his truth. But if this is so, everything can be a lie. To the question, what is the difference between knowledge and belief? Also, no answer. But the same people are very convinced of their belief and declare it as true and knowledge. And if you question them, they quickly get angry. Many seek knowledge in books, in science, in documents, commentaries, opinions, cults, traditions, religions, gurus, and priests. Even looking into the stars, into the microscope, looking into the small, looking into the large, worshipping Gaia, meditation, study, praying, there is no truth. One drop of water has more knowledge than the library of Alexandria, Vatican, and all libraries in the world combined. Many interpret this as quantum physics, metaphysics, supernatural, inexplicable, or just supernatural, spiritual, that is also which are declared as unexplained or supernatural, or others as total nonsense. Therefore, we will not go into big complicated explanation, but just simply show a few things where everyone can observe themselves. There is a huge diversion in this topic in all areas: science, religious, new age, conspiracy, alien, and psyops. This is what we have to comprehend. So the interpretation of this can lead to cults, worship, meditation again, or this quantum physics, supernatural, and so on. So even the worship of Gaia, this is what most people say if you talk about life or talk about things that just can be observed very simply. They go into this Gaia worship, and that's also kind of the religion and part of the system. When you talk also about this Dr. Masaru Emoto, this water experience, also again we're looking into a microscope, and this can be and again, it is not the words that change things, it is purely the intention. And we can observe that ourselves without any microscope. Snow crystal has his kind of beautiful shape when the ice in the freezer is just in chaos or whatever. But if you just watch into the water as definition, the first preserved in Sanskrit as well as Punjab and Julep was animate as referring to water as living force, to the latter as reference to as an inanimate substance. The same probably was true for fire. That's not true. Yeah, that again, this is not part of an element fire. That's the occult who want to make this like that. Further on, we just can observe ourselves in life. How does this plant know to grow like this and have this kind of beautiful shape? How this plant know to make this leaf like that, this color, this thing like that? Oh, we call the dog have supernatural smellings. We can also observe this. We can, and they claim that they know that the cat see in the night, but we also can see in the night if we turn off all the things. And all this kind of interpretation, we don't have the purpose to look like a cat. So why should we have night vision in a way of a cat or smell like a dog? Yeah, this is the kind of illusion what man needs to. This is the whole transhumanism, to go into this thing, to think that we need kind of super thing. They also say that the bees or the insects have a kind of different vision. But again, we can't really see it through it, and we don't have the purpose neither to see like a bee. So this is the whole worship of the microscopic and also the whole star thing, to think that we will find any truth in the microscope. And because once, even we had a microscope, once you watch into the microscope, you want to get a better one. That's the thing. If you start to look up in the sky, you want always to get a better one because you think you will see more. And that's the whole illusion. Don't have to forget that everything in a microscope or telescope, it is focused. So anyway, it will be round. That's another subject. But how even the ones who had pet home, who had kitties or babies for a dog, or who experienced that, how does the cat exactly know what to do? From everything, yeah. As soon as the baby come out, they know how. Even before, they know exactly that they need to find a quiet place, and as soon as they come out, they know what to eat, to how to everything works. Where does this information come from? Not from a book, not from an explanation, but they know exactly what to do. So where does this knowledge come from? And there is where man get completely confused, because he is looking into books, into explanations, into intellect. And this is the way we are losing the connection to life itself. Even every worm knows exactly what to do. Where does he get this information from? Not from a book, not from a priest, not from a cult. He knows exactly what to do. He gets it from the water. But again, we have exposed the reason why people are so confused. Now the question is how we can remember back and how to get back to life in itself. And again, we don't need any sophisticated things. We also don't need to pray or worship life in itself. That's also part of the whole bullshit. Life doesn't need be worshipped. Yeah. So talking about life and to make clear that this is the part of life and this is not worship life, because we breathe life all the time. This is also where we get the information for. And also the whole thank you doesn't mean we don't need to say thank you to life. We need to be grateful. We need to be thankful in everything what we do, speak, breathe, drink, eat. We have to be thankful, but we don't have to make a prayer. We don't have to say thank you all the time. This is also like this kind of submission that we always think that if someone does something for us, we have to do something for him. But if we do it for life, we do it for everyone. That's the whole difference, to be grateful and thankful for what is going on. So again, we don't need to worship life in itself and say thank you in the 5 times per day, but being thankful in everything we do. And also the excuses. This is exactly what takes us away from truth in itself, always to bring the excuses for everything. And of course, for every fact, there are thousands of excuses. So stop making excuses. Going back to water, water is always in movement. As soon the movement is stopped through pipes and or stagnated, the water dies. So everything in life, that's the same for us. If we are not in movement, the water in us dies. And even if we think to take the same water, and the water have a memory. The water does remember everything where he passed from beginning. So the water memory is very important. The water remembers everything what happened since all the time. And if we recycle it and get more and more bullshit into the water, well, the knowledge and the source of life disappear. Now they want to privatize the water. Already happened a long time. They pump it up, put it in bottle, the water dies. Steam it up, water dies. So if it's steam it up, it goes back to the thing and it can go back to life, but a part burns. This is also why as soon as we heat up water, the water is not around anymore. This is everything what we burn, we put it to ashes. To remember life and everything what happened in life, we have just to drink water and be grateful. Also this experience, many try it out, I hate you, I love you. And because there is already ego involved and a broken heart, this is where the whole thing or the experience will not work. It have to happen from a pure heart to get the love. If the love is already conditioned, if we make the experience to get the result, then we will not get the result. We have to experience it, but this experience is very silly because we just can see it around us. As soon as we start to appreciate things start to appreciate us. This is the whole thing. So if we go into, and this is with everything what we are doing, if we do things with a broken heart or with an innocent heart, everything's changed. So it is the ego. It is the ego that we have to let go. Yeah. So well, this experience, try it out. But if you expect the result, then the result will probably not be. It really have to be conscious and innocent. We will also not get any knowledge from life in itself through intellect. It will not work. It not through science, not through CERN, not through the whole. They pump billions now into this brain how to say this, brain projects to comprehend the mind and so on. And also we will not find it in any book, no matter who pretend or who write it. It will not be any religion belief. It will not be any new age or all of this kind of fantasy explanation. The knowledge of life is in any drop of water. And also, same what we are said many times. People go into the forest and say, yeah, I feel like charged. But the thing is that we uncharge. Life does need our life energy. So if we breathe out in the forest, this is how we also participate in life in itself. The other thing is, if we stop getting connected to the earth in itself, our body is charging like a battery and going very high up with all this electromagnetism around. If we don't regularly put our hands or feet into the water, into the wet herb, to really absorb the whole energy, and we are always walking on plastic, driving on plastic, sleeping on plastic, and this is how people get sick in the hospitals and so on. They are all away from life in itself, because life in itself is always 0 volt, and this we are getting charged. So this is how the health, how we lose the connection, the direct connection to life and knowledge of life in itself. So it's part of the responsibility to remember what life does really tell us, and get rid of the whole fantasy ideas, thoughts, of the emotions, to make really a straight difference between the emotions and the feelings, to know what the words really mean. Doesn't mean that we have to, again, we don't have to be we don't have to remember all these words, but if a word is coming up, let's verify what the word really means. If someone put a lot of weight on a word, then let's look up what the word means for them and what he means. So every definition had to be clarified between two people who talk about. So we just can't throw any definitions on people. This is also how we destroy the whole life. And again, take responsibility about all what we are doing, and put life into what we are doing without expectation that something happen. Also, this is mostly today, people get very upset because people around don't want to comprehend. Well, this is part. Everyone have his free choice to comprehend or not, but we have to confront people of what is going on. And if they start to talk bullshit about what destroys our whole environment of all of us, then we have all the right to say something, and we have to do it. Also, of course, the whole body is full of water, and this is how illnesses get. If the water is not crystal, not life anymore, then the body dies from inside. Quite logic. This is how it works for the plants. Give the plant Coca-Cola for a week and you will see how the plant is doing. And so this whole knowledge of life and everything what happened and the purpose of life and all what we can know is in a drop of water. But more and more this water get destroyed, get to remember the knowledge of life in itself, even in the water, because it is in pipes, because it is stocked in barriers, and this is how they mostly create all the floods also, with all these barriers and fake lakes and so on, and the rivers where they go and so on. So slowly the whole knowledge of life disappear, but we can revitalize it again if we remember, if we look at it, and if we breathe out, if we breathe in the living source of life in itself. So water had all the knowledge of life. Yeah, each of us have the direct access to all the knowledge of life, which is in every living drop of water. Not the ones who are in the pipes killed by itself, but one drop of water can vitalize a whole glass of water. So we all have the evidence before our eyes. Everything in life knows what to do. Only we question and searching for solutions, what to do. Through the system conditioning, we not even notice, hear, see, neither feel nor live. Because in the system everything must be explained, in form, instructed, schematized, learned by heart and thought. We lose the direct contact. And through this, we lose the direct contact to life in itself. And we will not come back to life if we try it through the system, because the system is already dead. So through intellect, dead thoughts, we will not get back to life. If we want to get to the truth of life, then we can not help, but recognize everything that comes from the system and let it go. Or even the corrupt water in us will make us sick and eventually kill us. But we can start the healing process to any time, everywhere, and make it, and then it keeps us healthy in this sick world. Only this, but only if we recognize this corrupted part in us, we can again vitalize the water in us. Therefore, the more carefully what we give from us to our environment, to the people around us, to all the life around us, all what we project, what the intention, what we give, the frustration, that we clean all this bullshit. This is what we can do, each one of us. Thanks for watching.